All right, so we were just talking Michigan State. And we'll jump into Michigan. We should end about the same time as the Lions game. All right. Ready? Good? All right. So Michigan had a little different of a game. I mean, it wasn't necessarily a big game against Northern Illinois. But like expected, the Wolverines ran all over them on their way winning 63-10 behind a rushing attack that saw 11 different players getting credit with a rush to a total of 373 yards, 233 passing yards for 606 total yards. Corum, 125 yards on 13 carries and 3 touchdowns. Donovan Edwards was second, 86 yards on 8 carries and his first 2 touchdowns as a Wolverine. Haskins had 56 yards on 9 carries and 2 touchdowns as well. Michigan tied a school record with 8 touchdowns on the ground, while Cade had an efficient day through the air, going 8 of 11. 8 of 11 for 191 yards and a touchdown.
I
don't think we need to really talk about the defense before we get into the other. The defense looked good, but it was against Northern Illinois, so they freaking better look good.
I think it's worth just saying that they look fast. We said it before. They look fast. They look motivated. They look pretty strong. This is a pretty good defense. They did their job. They made, and my favorite part of this whole thing is that they just played Rocky Lombardi again, right?
Yeah.
And last year he torched the Michigan defense, and this year it was their little revenge tour. So
yeah,
good for them.
Jamon Green had an interception. I remember hearing Michigan played 86 different players. I remember hearing that during the game. Mike actually texted me later on. He said he thought he heard of 100.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know if that's true or not. But my question for the listeners basically here, or viewers, is Rutgers really the first true test for Michigan? Because I kind of feel like that's where we're at. It's not.
No, Washington.
Washington was a true test, but I mean, Big Ten. This one, it feels like a mix of a trap and a test. Is that a fair way to look at this Rutgers game? And I don't know. I just kind of talked about the game, and then we moved on to the upcoming game. But I do want to talk a little bit about. But I mean, Rutgers in general.
I would not consider this a trap game. I think if Michigan does not come to play, then it's almost like the same issues that we've been running into in the last few years. And I just don't. They need to move past that. So this cannot be a trap game. I'm not going to buy into this being a trap game. I know Rutgers has turned it around, and they're looking like a different kind of team. Not that they're any good, but they're more well coached compared to previous years too.
Last year's Michigan State game, yes, Rutgers against Michigan, Rutgers against Michigan State.
Yeah,
that's a trap-ish game.
Yes,
or a evenly played game. This year doesn't feel like it.
It should not be a trap game. I think we beat them in every single aspect of the game, and this should not be. This should not be close. I want Michigan to take care of business. I want Blake Corum to get even further on the radar to being on the Heisman watch, and I want just the confidence to grow from this game. I don't want any question marks coming out of this game against Rutgers.
No, I completely agree, but I do want to talk a little bit about this game and not dig deep into it. There's really not a whole lot of point. There's no point to really dig into it other than the kind of the gaudy
points.
Numbers. The gaudy numbers I think were impressive. Yeah. It's the opponent that we faced. I don't want to dig too much into that. But I mean, what did they get? What was the rushing yards?
373 rushing yards.
It's impressive against no matter who you're going against.
233
that's impressive.
Passing.
600 total offense yards,
a lot of yards.
is very important.
I think
can't take a whole lot.
I just loved seeing the dynamic of Hassan Haskins being the third leading rusher on the team, averaging 6.2 and getting 56 yards on 9 carries.
And
the fact that Donovan Edwards
86
yards on 8 carries for the best average on the team, 10.8 with a 58-yard touchdown run.
Dude.
Just I loved that run.
He is sneaky important to this team.
If you see the way he moves his feet and his legs through, to contact like that when he gets his high knees going. Yeah, I agree with you. It's sneaky good because when the time comes when Michigan's going to need this guy, he's going to be ready. He's waiting in the wings, and he is a talented enough runner, physically imposing. He'll be ready for the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, what else stood out to you in this game? Obviously, you can't dig into it because of who they were playing, but you can sit and watch. For me, it was the confidence level that this team, and it's not just what they did against Northern Illinois. It's the way that this offensive line and running game and protection as well is kind of meshing together. And the confidence that they're gaining, I think, is what's really important because you were going against this type of caliber team over the last couple of years, and it wasn't as pretty as this. And you are dominating on the ground. Look, I'm not going to say that this means anything long-term Big Ten. I got to see it in the Big Ten for it to be truly impressive, but we weren't seeing it against these type of teams. You weren't seeing it against other teams that we played in the year. And that's where there's a difference this year to previous years. Will it translate? Time will tell. I'm not going to tell you it will. I don't think anybody's going to tell you it will.
I think what we can say is Blake Corum is legit. Blake Corum is a massive play waiting to happen. He's electric, and that's not something that we're accustomed to with the recent Michigan offense. It's not really since. I mean, who could you go back to? Maybe one of the quarterbacks. Can you help me out here?
Shoelace.
Shoelace. Yeah,
Robinson.
Yeah, Denard Robinson. That's honestly when we can go back to, and then maybe even Mike Hart and some of those other running backs. You did not have the explosive ability and the finishing ability in open field that Blake Corum has, and that's exciting. That's something to be excited about. And then the other guys, Hassan Haskins, Donovan Edwards, and I'm not going to take anything away from Haskins. I still think he's awesome. He's
feel
exactly what this team needs.
He is the person that people don't want to succeed at this point.
I agree.
You know what I
mean?
Don't know why. And I feel the same way though. I feel like I'm kind of in that boat because I love what Corum's doing. I'm like, hey, keep feeding this guy. He's my guy in my head. And then I'm like, all right, well, I'd rather Edwards get the secondary carries, and that's very unfair to Haskins because. And I know that. I know that I shouldn't be saying that. I know I shouldn't be feeling that. And if I'm feeling it, I'm sure 83% of the Michigan fans are kind of feeling the same way.
To me, he is the guy that earned this job from Zach Charbonnet when he completely outshined him when he was not supposed to be the guy. From Chris Evans, who went through all the stuff that he went through, but you know what? He still earned these carries, and every time he touches the ball, good things happen. And it might not be 56 yards, but he is the master of the 5 to 11-yard run exactly when Michigan needs it, and he always has been. The last 2 years, when this offense was not good, he was the shining star. He just was, and I'm proud of this guy, and I like the ball in his hands. To me, the biggest thing in general with the offense, Cade McNamara, J.J. McCarthy, I just feel like they are making good plays, and when J.J.'s out there, I thought he had more touch on the ball this time around. And I thought
JJ or Cade?
JJ. I thought JJ had more touch on the ball this time around. He threw the ball with a little bit less zip, I guess, less of a line drive and more playing quarterback.
For those 7-8 yard throws rather than the,
and I also think that what we're starting to see out of Cade is the long play accuracy.
So he had one that he missed badly. But then they went back to the same type of play, and who did he hit? Was it
Cornelius Johnson?
Was it Cornelius Johnson?
Yep.
Okay, I was going to say Sandershell, but I knew it wasn't right. But it was Cornelius Johnson for that big touchdown pass, which, look, good to see. It doesn't change my feelings on Michigan. I got to see it. Passing wise, I got to see it. Look, I don't want to overlook Rutgers. I really don't. But at the same time, if and when Michigan goes out and proves it against Rutgers, people are going to say, okay, we'll do it against Wisconsin. So right here, right now, I'm going to say, do it against Wisconsin. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably unfair to Rutgers. It's probably unfair to Michigan to already be looking to the next game. But as a Michigan fan, I feel like that's what I have to do.
Yeah.
And I feel like outside Michigan fans are going to say the same thing. So let's just all gather together, say kumbaya, and say, we're not going to know anything about Michigan until we see them against Wisconsin.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. I think the passing game has something good going. They're starting to get some roles. I think Cornelius Johnson, this was a big game for him to establish something on the outside. He's a really good weapon. I'm not going to say he's dominant or anything, but he has the NFL type wide receiver body on the outside, the long, athletic. He's actually fast, man. His legs just move.
Yeah.
He's a weapon. AJ Henning seems to be their little dynamic spark plug, what we thought Sanderson would be, or what Giles Jackson was last year. I'm seeing that more out of AJ Henning than any one of these wide receivers up until this point. He may be taking that role a little bit heavier because of the injury, and then I don't think we have seen Eric All get into this offense like he will. I think his role is going to expand more and more, especially with the running game threat. That is going to be his key with the play action pass to get him over the middle. And
I think he'll be key in the Wisconsin's, Penn State, in Ohio State games.
Exactly.
Because
I agree.
You have athletes on the outside that can shut your wide receivers down, right? So you have to have that secondary option. If All can be anything, those are the games that he needs to be something. Because otherwise, I mean, you're going athlete against athlete everywhere else on the field. If you have a mismatch, that's the key. And I want to see that guy develop.
And over the middle of the field.
Disappointing.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of it comes down to the quarterback. So I want him to become the safety net for this quarterback. And not to say that we shouldn't, not to say that we shouldn't throw down the field to Cornelius Johnson, but if AJ Henning is going to be your spark plug and Roman Wilson, those two guys are more of like their smaller, fast, dynamic guys, speed and space. Maybe like that's the theme for those kind of receivers. Then take advantage of the mismatches when you have them. And Eric All is that.
He could be
long, athletic. Like when they were recruiting him as a freshman, even they were saying that he could be the best tight end in Michigan history. It was obviously way too early to say that, but that's the kind of difference maker or special ability that he could possibly have.
I sure hope so. I think that'll be very important as the season goes on. A couple things I want to bring up. So this is kind of the Michigan topic, but I think we can kind of bring State into the mix here. I don't want to make it a Michigan versus Michigan State thing. We have a game coming up late August or October that will take care of that for us. We have plenty of episodes to kind of get into that. But I did find something interesting. Michigan and Michigan State have 3 total players ranked number 1 at their position in the country right now, according to Pro Football Focus. Number 1, which is a pretty big deal. Like, I don't want to... Obviously, Pro Football Focus has their goofy stuff that people can't comprehend.
Okay.
But when you have ranked number 1 in their current position, that's impressive. So what I want to do is put you kind of on the spot.
Oh,
here.
Sweet. Okay.
You ready?
I love it. Yeah.
All right. So 3 players. 2 could be to Michigan. 2 could be to Michigan State. 1 could be Michigan. You know how it works. But there are 3 total players for Michigan State that are ranked number 1 at their position according to Pro Football Focus. Where would you start, and how do you think? Like, where would you go with this?
I'm gonna go Jaden Reed. Michigan State.
Jaden Reed. All right, that is wrong.
Oh my God. Seriously?
Seriously. All right, so I'm gonna give you a hint.
Okay, wait, hold on.
You want a hint or no?
Just go ahead.
All right. One of them is a running back.
That's so hard.
That's a very secret hint, right?
Yeah, that's
it's
so
a hint,
hard.
but it doesn't do anything.
Because that could be Blake Corum
or Kenneth Walker.
That could be Kenneth Walker. Man, that I'm.
Who would you give the nod to personally? And this is Pro Football Focus. Obviously goofy stats and a lot of underwriting stuff that we don't see.
I want to give it to Blake Corum because of how, in my mind, just the way he's thrown people off with his eyes and his vision, he's been number 1. I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker.
You should have stuck with your gut.
Oh,
it's
man.
Corum. So Corum, according to Pro Football Focus, is the number 1 running back in the nation. All right. So now we got two guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, both defense?
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson is an obvious choice here.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. All right.
You got that one right.
Okay.
So Michigan has Corum and Hutchinson.
Okay, so Aiden Hutchinson is number one for defensive ends.
Yep, for defensive ends. So I'm gonna tell you, it's a Michigan State defensive player.
Well, Xavier Henderson's first to come to mind, and that's him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You got it. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to let yourself talk yourself out of it. No, but I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have two really offenses that are very, very impressive. Two defenses that are kind of going under the radar good. And you have guys, a DE with Aiden Hutchinson and a safety, Xavier Henderson. Xavier, is he playing more corner?
Yeah, cornerback. He's really like an ex-defender. He's playing over the middle, guarding their best players. But yeah, cornerback.
All right. So the next thing I want to do quick is give you a who would you rather have right here, right now, for a couple positions. Michigan versus Michigan State. You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to start with who would you rather have right here, right now, Peyton Thorne or Cade McNamara?
Peyton Thorne.
I agree.
No question about it. His poise in the pocket, I think he's got more tools in his tool bag, and his mindset, you can just see it on the field. He's got so much confidence, and I don't think it's going to take a lot to slow him down. I'm looking at him versus Jared Goff. I think I'd take Peyton Thorne.
Here we go. Jared Goff, I mean, what do you have?
25-yard run, yeah.
35, maybe? I don't know. I'll take it. Garbage time. That's where he gets his stats.
Yeah, baby.
People said stat pad for so long. I'm like, no,
I know.
I think Goff more fits that mold.
He
Stafford was actually legit. No, I agree with you. For right here, right now, what we've seen, what we've been shown, Peyton Thorne is hands down the better guy. I mean, time will tell. It's still early. I think there's no reason why I should hate on Caden McNamara. He hasn't done anything wrong necessarily. It's just more or less what we've seen. His ceiling seems higher, and that's where I would kind of go with you there. MSU's running back room or Michigan's running back room. I mean, you got Kenneth Walker and you got Corum. And honestly, we could go Kenneth Walker-Corum if you want to. Do you want to go head-to-head between those two?
Well,
or is it more of a depth thing?
Like, Kenneth Walker has Jordan Simmons, and Simmons is a spark plug too, man.
Yeah.
He's good. I will go Michigan here. I think Michigan has the better running back room, and that is not taking anything away from Kenneth Walker or even Jordan Simmons. Or even who's the old running back that
Collins?
No,
that's hurt.
No, the big dude who's like fullback, and he honestly looks massive.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Honestly.
All right, well, he's like a 5th-year guy, and any
you just throw a pick.
Any Spartan, yeah, he threw a pick. Any Spartan would like kill me for not knowing who he is because he's kind of Hayward.
Okay, Connor Hayward.
Connor Hayward, yeah, for Michigan State. They have a great group of running backs. They really do. They're solid. I just think with Blake Corum is such a dynamic guy, like we've talked about. I think Hassan Haskins is. He is so good, and people I value him.
Haskins.
I
You're
do.
a big Haskins guy.
I value him so high because when things start closing in on you, and you're playing some elite competition, that's when you need those slippery guys who can just, like, for whatever reason, have that ability to weave through a defense. He has that ability, and I've seen it. He never, he doesn't let me down ever. He always plays well. But and then Donovan Edwards, if there's an injury to either one of those guys, I think he steps in, and maybe he's the difference maker between that, because I think State's too deep and really, really solid too deep.
Yeah.
With Jordan Simmons as the backup, but I think Michigan is 3 deep right now, and that's where I'll give the edge.
So would you go head-to-head Corum over Walker? Like, what would you do with that?
Yeah, because I've been following Corum for a while. I think Corum is. I really do think he's a Christian McCaffrey. Like, that's where I think his ceiling is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can't disagree with you. I think the depth is undeniable for Michigan. Michigan has way more depth at the running back position, and I don't mean that as a slight. But it's on paper. It's there. Like, you have 3 guys that are probably NFL guys. I mean, Kenneth Walker is awesome. NFL guy, no question. But
I will say, so far, Michigan State has done it against much better competition overall.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's an edge to say, like, well, these guys are proven, and Michigan has only played Washington out of the 3, I would not argue with you. I think that's a legit argument, and that's why it makes it a fun argument.
Yep. So then the last one that I would ask you is wide receiver room.
Easy.
You got Michigan State with Jaden Reed, Jalen Naylor, Trey Mosley are kind of their three guys. You got Dalen Baldwin for Michigan, Cornelius Johnson, and Mike Sanderstill.
I would
Obviously
say,
with Bell
AJ Henning instead of Sanderstill, and I would
Would
even
you?
put
Okay.
yeah, and I would even put
Roman Wilson.
Roman Wilson as the 4. Yeah, right now Sanderstill has not seen the field.
I would say depth wise, Michigan, but right here you're going 3 against 3. It seems like Michigan State.
No,
you still go Michigan?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I think even depth. I think Michigan State has better depth too with White, because White, who's the dude who just burned Michigan last year, he's hardly seeing the field right now for Michigan State. They're deep. I'm gonna go Michigan State here all the way. Jaden Reed to me is the best wide receiver of all of them.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's very close.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things play out. But for the Rutgers game, obviously this was kind of the Michigan topic, but the Rutgers games, I feel like it's the perfect stepping stone to go from Northern Illinois, Rutgers, to Wisconsin. And I don't want to overlook them and say it's a trap or say it's a trap game. It's just, if Michigan is what Michigan fans think they are, you go out there, you take care of business, and you do not flaunt this type of win. You go out there, you do it. You win and figure it out from there. I don't know. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but finish up, put a bow on it.
I'll just put it, real quick. So the game against Washington, where Michigan dominated in the trenches, it was not pretty. They scored 31, and it took them a little while to get there. If they pull off that same kind of win against Rutgers, I think that's perfect. Assert your dominance. You do not need to get flashy and try to throw all these extra plays in and get your passing game going. No. You win the game, and you keep that confidence rolling into a big-time matchup.
Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. State of My Sports.
All right, so here we are.
Oh, boy.
We were going to talk some Lions here. And so the game's still going on. We got 3 minutes left. Lions are down 35-17. You know, there was some promises, right? I mean,
Swift just jumped over, dude.
Did he really? I mean, yeah, might as well. Just late in the game. And
Why did he do that? Watch
plays.
his play. I just want you. He just he was standing up straight and he still jumped over him.
Oh my gosh.
He's got hops, man. He just whipped. But that's the best thing they've done all night.
That is the best thing they've done. Well, not necessarily. All right, so where do you want to start with this? So here we are. We're down 35-17, 3 minutes left in the game. They're not going to win.
It looks ugly.
Period, end of story. It looks ugly. There were times that it looked promising.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Where do you want to start with this?
I think, okay.
I got a blank sheet here, Ryan, so this is your thing to go with. Usually I have...
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, you love this kind of stuff.
I think football is such a game of just like key plays and key moments. And if you have a swing or a change, a shift in momentum, that is so key to anything. And what we saw in this game is exactly the weakness of the Lions on both sides of the ball. And I want to break that down because, first of all, the Lions look good drive 1. Drive 2, even drive 3, they got their field goal. They were up 17-14, and then going into – were they up 17-14 at halftime? No, or they were down 21-17.
I think they were down
17,
yeah.
21-17.
Yep.
So Lions have a chance to answer back after Green Bay just scores. Or actually, before that, let's start off with the defense. Lions offense is killing it. They're scoring. They're moving the ball down the field. Their big play guys are stepping up. Goff throws the perfect pass to the left sideline for a touchdown to Hawkinson. Great catch. Hawkinson's looked awesome tonight.
Yeah,
Swift looked good. Jamal Williams was running the ball early.
So Hawkinson so far has 8 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown.
And yet, what did we see in those key moments? They got to midfield, and the announcers were talking about this. They started working their way back. Peyton and Eli are saying, like, oh, there's a penalty. Oh, there's a penalty. Yep, that's exactly what stops these kinds of drives. You're moving the ball. You've got confidence and momentum.
Was that drive 3 or maybe drive 4?
I think it was 4 after they already scored. Maybe it was 3 before or between the touchdowns.
Yeah, it might have been. Yeah.
Or even 2 then in that case.
Yeah.
But either way, those are the plays that ruin games in the long run. The holding on Penei Sewell, and not to say he's had a bad game or anything, but there was a holding.
We still haven't seen it.
I say prove it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I didn't see the hold personally, but I mean, we don't need to get into that.
But there was the false start, and we saw other false starts and other holds and other penalties, and those are the things that mess up drives and throw momentum off. You do not throw those opportunities away against a good team like the Packers, who are moving the ball at will against your defense. The next key here is on the defensive side of the ball, where there's another big moment, and we saw it with the 3rd and 15, and then they converted that, and then they go like the next set of downs later, and it's 3rd and 13, and they convert that one. And as a defense, if you worked your butt off to get a 3rd and 8 or longer, you cannot give those up so easily time and time again, because that is completely deflating to not only your defense but the entire team, and then putting extra pressure on the offense.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. It was just time and time again in the big plays, the Lions failed.
Yes.
And it wasn't, I mean, I don't know what it is. There are so many things that can come into account with that. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if it's making the plays. I don't know if it's just a freaking one of the best quarterbacks of all time picking you apart, knowing what you're going to do before you know what you're going to do. You know what I mean? There's so many things that kind of play into that role. I don't want to throw any in particular player under the bus.
I will.
Because it's just it seems like a group effort. And the Lions' depth is what's really, really hurting them, in my opinion. Who would you throw under the bus?
A couple of things. We're missing Okudah tonight, and it's obvious. They're picking on who was
it,
iffy,
Jerry or
iffy at the beginning, who got hurt.
Yeah.
And then they've been picking on
Price?
AJ Price. Yeah, and Jerry Jacobs, 2 rookies. I mean, that's how thin we are at the position, so shame on us, I guess, and then multiple injuries.
That's where you're at in a rebuild, right?
It happens, yeah.
Yeah.
So they're picking on that one specific skill position, and then the other guy they're picking on is Collins, it seems like, in the middle.
He looks slow.
He looks slow. He just does.
Yeah, and then I look, he was supposed to be the guy that you rely on in that position, linebacker, to kind of, teach Derek Barnes and kind of let him get his feet wet until you throw him to the wolves. Right now, I'm sitting here watching what Collins is doing. I'm like, there's no way Barnes could be any worse. Give me something. I don't care. Like, if we're making rookie mistakes, I don't care. I don't want to see speed mistakes. I don't want to see you're just old and washed up mistakes. And that's what I thought I saw today. I'm not saying that's what Collins is going to be for the rest of the year. I don't want to throw him under the bus and say he's done or anything like that or washed up, but let's see what we have in Derek Barnes. And I don't know if it's a Collins or what's Anzalone guy that's kind of like making that clogging the linebacker position for a guy like Barnes. But like, I don't remember seeing Barnes. Like, did he play? Like, I'm probably turning this into a completely different discussion here.
He was
Barnes,
hurt in the preseason, so he hasn't had the reps. So the coaches, they want these young guys to earn it. So I get it. But you're right. We've seen Jamie Collins look slow. We've seen the linebacker group fail to make plays in the running game. It seems like the safeties are the ones that come up and make plays in the running game when a big play happens.
Yeah.
And then they're the ones that are getting picked on when Aaron Jones is becoming a receiver. And, yeah, he's probably the best running back in football, or close to it, top 5 probably.
Top 3.
With moving around and catching the ball out of the backfield and stuff. So it's not an easy matchup, but it just seems too predictable. It seems so predictable for Aaron Rodgers to pick on the cornerback hole when he needs to, because he knows those guys aren't going to make plays, and then pick on your linebacker in the red zone and move your running back all over the place. It's too easy.
Well, it is very, very easy for good quarterbacks. What are we going to do against the rest of the league? Time will tell, because this is Aaron Rodgers we're playing against, and I don't want to overreact, because that's what is that? Maybe 5% of the league is somebody like Aaron Rodgers, maybe. I mean, you got Brady, Rodgers, and Is that it? Honestly,
besides like
for
Mahomes,
for
maybe.
tier 1, sorry, Mahomes, but like you're not gonna face anybody at this caliber other than Rodgers this year.
Yeah, I mean he got them what, like doing the substitution thing multiple times.
Yeah,
on defense. So it's just kind of a shame. It just seems again too easy. Like the Lions are growing up still, and that might be from the coaching staff growing up a little bit, and it looks like it's from the players as well. And even plays like that. Come on, Trinity Benson. Come up with the ball.
I think
Fight for it.
Too easy is the right word, because missing out or like just barely missing plays like we saw Okuda do last week, or just being a step out of position is another thing. But that's not what we're seeing. We're seeing wide open guys. We're seeing the offense control what you're doing on defense, and and I think that's really the key of what's wrong with the Lions is the defense. Because the defense is what's really letting them down. They let them down against San Francisco. I mean, the offense did it too, with the pick six and all that stuff. So I'm just kind of spinning my wheels here.
I want to break it down to why these are important. And we don't need to spend much more time on it, really. But let's just get to this game. We saw it was 17-14. Lions are up. They were in the drive where the Packers scored to go up to 21-17. The Packers had, multiple long third downs in the same drive.
I think they came out and said that the Packers converted on 3rd and 14 and a 3rd and 11.
Yeah, and I think it was even longer. Correctly. I think it was 14 and 12 or something like that. But either way, these are drives where you cannot give those long. And again, it was easy. So they're not even working that hard for these 3rd and longs. That means that your defense, there are gaps, there are known holes in your defense. But again, those are opportunities that are missed. Now, the Lions up until that point were winning the game. Packers in this scenario go down and they're up 21-17. Then they score again and they're up a touchdown and 4 points. Now the Lions come back and the pressure's on them. And this all started with the Lions failing and moving backwards, like what we talked about with the Manning brothers. They were moving in the wrong direction. Now the pressure's so much on them because they're multiple scores behind that Jared Goff tries to force something down the field, and then there's an interception.
Yeah.
Then they score again, and it's easy. And now what do you have? You have 35-17. Looks like a complete blowout, but really it was a series of two or three series or plays that were really the key momentum of the game, and that is the NFL.
Yeah.
That's why you need players that step up in those scenarios and not ones that are predictably going to fail you, like I feel like Jared Goff is going to be for the majority of his career.
There's nothing that I saw today that concerns me about the development of the Detroit Lions. It was exactly what we expected heading into week 1 and into week 2 and all of that stuff. It was like, as a Lions fan, you're going to sit here and be like, there's hope. They could make this happen. We saw early on that they can make it happen, but it just didn't click. And when you have those flags and you have those letting these guys convert on 3rd and long multiple times, that's when you're going to get embarrassed in a lot of ways. And I don't want to say embarrassed in a way that, in a lot of ways, this is what I expected.
Yeah, 35-17 against the Packers, week 2. Early on in the year, we've been like, what would you expect?
That's exactly what I was expecting. I'm not going to lose any sleep over
it. Perfect score, yeah.
But at the same time, you had that hope. You saw those flashes that was a little bit of, hey, they could. So their upside can compete.
Their first 4 drives, they had 17 points.
Yeah.
And they were winning the game.
So all right, this is a question that I came up, and this is not Lions related at all. So everybody says, what is it? Like the first 15 points or so are scripted? Is that what they say? Or 15 plays?
Yeah, normally.
Like the first 15 plays are scripted. Why the heck don't you go into halftime and script the next 15 plays coming out? Nobody talks about that. I don't know if that's a silly thing to say, but you have all this time. It can't be that hard to just script plays. I'm not a big fan of scripting plays. I think that's stupid.
I do too. I think it's dumb.
If you have to do that tells me your players aren't creative enough.
Yeah,
in my opinion,
or your coaches aren't.
Yeah,
grow up and just learn a playbook.
It's not like, all right, we're gonna throw a fastball the first 15 pitches. What? That doesn't make any sense.
And that's the perfect word, adjust. And it just seems like in these scenarios, the Lions are not adjusting, and their competition is. And maybe it was the opposite week 1 with the 49ers. Like, 49ers got complacent. They got the big lead. Lions started coming back, but I think some of those were freak, coincidences that happened to let the Lions back in the game. But this week, it's exactly what I expect out of the Lions. They came out, they made the plays, they had their script, and then when the game went on, they ran out of the sparkly playbook, fresh new ideas and stuff. When it came down to their coaches calling plays, their players executing and adjusting on the fly, it just wasn't there. And I don't know what that is. I think it might be a lack of, it seems like a running game gets out to a great start every single game, both games so far this year, and then in the second half they're non-existent because they feel like they have to start throwing the ball, and they.
How did the running game look? What did you think about the running game?
I thought they looked explosive again. They were doing their job. Williams was making plays. They were getting down the field. DeAndre Swift looked good even in garbage time.
Who do you think
Swift
was the leading rusher in this game?
I would say Jared Goff, just based on
based on my question. Yeah, so Jared Goff was the leading rusher. He had 4 rushes for 46 yards. Swift, 8 rushes. Jamal Williams, 7 rushes. That game didn't get out of hand early enough to only have that amount of rushes.
Yeah.
Is that a question of the play calling, or is that just feeling out the game? Because look, I don't want to say that the play calling was terrible, because Goff did go 29 of 36 or 26 of 36. That's not terrible. So it's not like they were throwing the ball when they shouldn't have.
How many
right?
receptions? How many receptions did Swift and Williams have?
All right, so Swift had 4 receptions. Williams had 3. So Swift had 41 yards receiving, and Williams had 12. So I don't know. But Hawkinson, here we go again, with 8 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. I'm curious what the over-under was on that.
The wide receivers just are not involved in this offense. We have Quintez Cephas was the first drive, yes.
What did he have? He had
4 catches.
Two catches for, 55 yards, I think, on the first drive. And then he had 2 catches for 8 yards the second.
Yeah.
Rest
of the game.
That's disappointing.
Trinity Benson, only 1 catch, 24 yards.
Man.
Khalif Raymond, 2 catches, 18. Amon St. Brown, 3 catches, 18.
Is that the key to this offense? Is getting if you can get a threat at wide receiver, and if you can get a threat at wide receiver, does that make this offense actually somewhat legit, like maybe top 20?
No, because I think
25?
Jared Goff knows when he's checking down.
Let's talk a little bit about Goff. What did you think about this game for him?
I thought they had some scripted plays down the field, which was good, just to show it. He wasn't that great at it.
I
thought that one throw was great.
Even his downfield throws are like, yeah, I don't want anybody to catch this.
Yeah.
It's just to show that I can throw it this far.
Yeah. And the touchdown was a perfect throw. I'll give him that.
That was a great throw.
It was also scripted. Because that is what you're supposed to Hawkinson. Because that's what you're supposed to do in the red zone. You make it so you don't throw an interception. So he is like by the book, no creativity, throw it to the corner, and I'm not gonna. Again, it was a great throw, and it was the right throw. He did his job.
It was a great throw.
He does not play off script. If he plays off script, it's part of the script. What does he do? He checks down, which is on script.
How many times did we say he looks one, and then his check down? He's just sitting and waiting for his check down to get open, and then he throws you his check down. And it's check down central. That is all it is.
And let's not forget the 4th and 1, where Lions were in the red zone. They were threatening, and we all wanted them to go for it. 4th and 1, even though Sam, you wanted them to kick it.
I would have been okay with the kick.
Yeah, I would have been okay.
I would have been
with
okay
it.
either way, honestly.
But they were trying to win the game, so they were down 21-17. They decided to go for it, and they Goff threw it to the left side, went to Quintez Cephas again.
Yep.
And he was guarded very well. The cornerback was all over him. And who was wide open over the middle? It was Amon-Ra St. Brown, who went in a little bit, give a little nudge.
And did the jump afterwards. Like,
yeah, like, give me the ball. Like,
but Goff, what he is, what he's here for is, I'm doing my job. My job is to look this way. I'm not looking anywhere else. That is way different than we're used to. I don't want to get into the who our former quarterback was. I'm not even going to say his name. But that is a massive step down from what we saw. And look, there were people that were saying Goff was better than the other guy's name. There were people that said that early on in Goff's career. And what you see with Goff is it is night and day. He is the check down king. He is the ultimate game manager. He makes Alex Smith look like a really good quarterback.
yeah.
Like, he makes Alex Smith look like aggressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? If you're going to check down as much as he does, then at least play football like Alex Smith, where it's part of the offense. Like, don't even pretend. Just make it your offense.
Yeah.
Run the San Francisco offense. Run the old Kansas City Chief offense. Like, just check it down all the time with crazy movement all over the field so that you get you guys open.
We're not seeing that.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not seeing the super creativeness.
We'll see what happens as the season goes on. But, I mean, man, this offense is, I don't want to say awful because I am still hopeful about the running game. And the offensive line really did protect Goff as well.
Doing a good job, and Hawkinson's
without
playing well.
your main left tackle.
Yeah.
The offensive line is doing their job.
Yeah.
But man, I hope this is eye-opening to Lions fans that thought Stafford, I'm going to say his name now, was not good enough. Because you're seeing a guy that he is nowhere near the level of what Stafford is. Yeah, I'm a Stafford guy. I'm kind of happy about this, but at the same time, it's like I want to see Goff succeed. This is night and day. You're seeing the difference between a tier 2 quarterback and a tier 4 quarterback, and that is a very, very massive gap. That's a bigger gap than tier 1 and tier 2, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I know that doesn't sound like a lot because obviously you're going from tier 2 to tier 3 to tier 4, but like it is a big, big difference, and I don't want to get into like saying Stafford would have won this game or beat the 49ers. That's not the point. The point is this offense is not doing anything under Goff.
Long term, there's no real big upside, and you know, we probably have a comment on there saying like, oh well, you guys, you know, were excited about this trade, and you guys were talking about Goff potentially being, you know, something long term for your team. And wait, hold on a second. Hold on. We can still be excited about what the trade that actually happened.
Goff was the throw-in.
Goff was the reason the whole thing happened because of the salary.
Yeah.
Right. So we took the salary back in return, and I do not regret any part of that deal because what we did was now tell this Lions team we're in rebuild mode.
Yep.
We're going to get the assets. We're valuing that, you know, those assets because we're more than one piece away. We're more than two pieces away. We're a lot of pieces away.
Yep.
So I don't even want to bring a rookie quarterback in. I wouldn't want Justin Fields to be in this offense. I wouldn't want him to be in this team right now because they're not ready for him yet.
Same thing with Tua. Same thing with Zach Wilson. Same thing with Justin Herbert.
Yes.
Talking big picture where the Lions
Herbert's
are.
debatable, but yeah.
I think he's getting exposed a little bit here in the sophomore slump. We don't need to get into that. But here we are. Like, this is exactly where we want to be. We have a quarterback that's not going to go out there and win us games that we shouldn't win. He's not going to light the world on fire and simply win us games and hurt our draft stock. Look, we're not going to get a quarterback with our Rams pick in the next 2 years. We're not going to. Period. End of story. We're not going to get our quarterback of the future in either of those picks.
We're going to get it with the Lions pick.
We're going to get it with the Lions pick. And that's the key. And what we're going to get with the Rams pick that we got from this trade is a true blue piece that we're missing. I don't know what position is that. I don't know anything. Like, we'll see how they build this thing. But it is not about getting the quarterback from this trade. The trade was not getting our quarterback of the future. That's not what this trade was about. Our trade was about getting pieces to build. And what we still have is that opportunity. Who knows where it lays? Who knows who we pick? Who knows what positions it's at? But if we can be as bad as we are, which we all know we're bad, we're not deep enough to be successful in this league. We're not talented enough to be successful in this league. We're going to have a top 5 pick. You might get your quarterback this year. You might get him next year. I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out.
Depends how much you like Spencer Rattler.
Not a big fan right now.
Me either.
Not a big fan of any of these quarterbacks right now.
Tulane a little bit better.
It changes very quickly.
It does.
And I don't know. I like where we're at as much as I hate where we're at. You know what I mean? If that's fair to say.
It's what we expected.
It is. Are you good with Lions talk?
Yeah. Let's move on.
I mean, I don't have a sheet to tell me that I'm done with Lions talk, so I don't know what else to go with.
Well, Detroit started 0-2 for the second consecutive season.
Drinking craft beer, having fun, and talking sports in the state of Michigan. You're listening to State of My Sports.
So we're going to get into our betting hero topic, which of course is our picks.
Wow.
Betting hero, that was probably one of the smoothest transitions I've ever had.
Yeah.
You
That was
liked
great.
it?
Yeah, I really liked it.
I had to talk about it.
There's only 2 of us.
Really good.
Good job, man.
The other guys would be proud too, I think.
I'm going to re-listen to that just for the
All right.
transition.
So bettinghero.com. Go to their website. You type in promo code State of My Sport or MI Bets. No idea what I was going with.
I was nodding yes.
Promo code MI Bets, and you'll get tons of promos available on all the sports betting apps. Sign up. We'll get a nice little kickback. You'll get a great deal. It'll be awesome. Everybody will be happy.
Go support us, guys.
Other than myself, because my picks are awful. So here we are. So all right. So this was before the Lions pick was in. We'll adjust the standings overall after that comes in. I don't know who took the Lions, who took the Packers. I know I took the Packers. I don't know if anybody else did or not. But Kyle, he went 2-4 for a 12-6 overall record. Micah went 3-3, 11-7 overall. Ryan 2-4 for 10-8 overall. John 4-2, nice week for him. 9-9. Me,
wow.
1-5 for a 4-14 overall record. This is just not looking good for me.
You're struggling right now.
I'm really struggling. John did not get his picks in this week, so we're going to skip over him. We're just going to give him kind of the 50-50 draw, I guess, at the end of it. Should we just give him an offer?
I think he deserves an offer, but
right,
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it off here. But anyways, we're going to start with our first game is the Panthers at the Texans. That's Thursday Night Football. Texans are plus 7.5. Micah's going Panthers. Kyle's going Panthers. Ryan, what are you going to do here?
You know what? Panthers are coming off a really, really good win, but, man, this Texans team is getting sneaky right now. I think Tyrod Taylor is their quarterback.
He's out, though.
Oh, he is?
He's hurt.
Panthers.
Right.
Thank you for that bit of knowledge.
I shouldn't have gave that to you. Even though, Thursday Night Football means close game, and the underdog usually covers, but, yeah.
I'm not losing ground over that one.
Yeah, I'm going Panthers. I
talked you into it.
It's gonna be a 8-point game, right? It just feels like one of those.
It's gotta be.
We'll move down to the Buccaneers at the Rams. That is a pick'em, which means no spread. You pick the winner.
Wow.
Mike is going Bucks. Kyle's going Bucks. Ryan, who are you going with on this one?
Oh my gosh, what a perfect pick'em too! Because with Matthew Stafford, the way this Rams teams look, yeah, they had to come back, but I'm gonna go Buccaneers. You know what?
I don't know what.
I think I'm going Rams.
Really?
I just changed my mind mid-pick. Yeah, I think Stafford's going to do something at home that's just special, and to get that city to fall in love with him.
I agree. I'm right there with you. This game, he knows that this is the one that everybody's looking at, and this is his chance to just be like, we're the real deal. It's not just talk. It's not just, he's ready to shine here.
Yep.
Look. It's weird picking against Brady in a pick'em. That's really silly of me, but I'm going Rams as well. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It just seems like the stars are aligning for a guy like that.
Buccaneers last year, remember leading into the playoffs, they were either all or nothing. Like they can just throw. It's the regular season. They don't care that much.
Yep, so we're moving down to the Lions game. You got the Ravens at the Lions. Last I saw was +9. We'll see where it comes in. This might be off right now. But Mike is going Ravens. Kyle's going Ravens. Ryan.
Ravens.
Yeah?
Ravens.
+9?
Ravens. Do it.
Should I go Lions again?
Do you want to go 0-5?
I went Packers last time.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Oh. I don't know, man.
I'm going to go Lions.
Yeah, you might as well.
I'm going Lions to cover the 9 points. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be like the 49ers cover. Not that they covered in our picks, but they covered in like closing odds. So that's where I'm going with. I don't know. They're going to have a nice little bounce back. And I don't think the Ravens are that good. I really don't.
You say that every year. They just beat the Chiefs. Lamar Jackson's better than you think he is.
He's not, though.
Yeah, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he
Let's
is.
keep talking about that. He's not. Oh, that was him. What?
Yeah.
The sound just cut off. We got the other song going. This is one of the shortest episodes of all time.
Yeah. Are you trying to extend it?
No.
Yeah, let's get this thing over with.
All right. So we're moving to some college football. Can you turn it down just a tad?
I turned it down earlier, too.
I think that's good right there.
Perfect.
Love it. You did a great job, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well done.
I got a round
Wish I had
of
the clap
applause.
All right. So
Number
we
12,
had-
Notre Dame versus number 18, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's -5.5, and this is at Soldier Field. So this is what do you call it?
Weird thing about this game.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it opened at even pick 'em.
Did it really?
And then the money just flew in with Wisconsin to move the spread to -5.5.
Wow.
So where you kind of lean on. So Mike is taking Notre Dame. Kyle's taking Wisconsin. That's a 50-50 draw there. I don't know where to go with this. Like, honestly, I think both teams are frauds when it comes to national contenders. But in this type of game, I don't know where to go.
Yeah.
I have no idea where to go.
No, that's a good point because they're probably both top 20, even top 25, probably top 20, but they're not elite.
I would say between 15 and 25.
Yeah, probably
is right
fits.
where I'd put both those teams.
I'm going Notre Dame. I got this weird suspicion this year that Wisconsin's not as good as we expect them to be. So I'm going Notre Dame.
I'm right there with you. I'll take the points in this type of game. I think it's going to be very, very close. There's no reason either of these teams should blow out the other. So if you can get more than a field goal for a team, take that. I'm taking Notre Dame +5.5. It makes the most sense. Move down to another top 25 matchup. Texas A&M is at Arkansas. You got Mike and Kyle both going A&M. Look, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about either of these teams, other than the fact I think they're both overrated. I don't see either of these teams being that great.
I think Arkansas has played pretty well so far. I'm going to go out Arkansas.
Yeah? So you're going to take Arkansas +6 at home.
Yeah.
So for me, like, for someone that doesn't, break down the film of these type of teams, and I don't spend a whole lot of my time, I would have gone Texas A&M because they're the better team. That should happen. They should cover, a touchdown.
I'm going to go Arkansas, though.
Yeah, you already said that.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to go.
I was trying to mess with your pick.
I was so confident with what I was saying. I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
Oh, I'm going Arkansas because of the mountain biking scene in Arkansas. It's really
Oh,
good.
you just love the mountain biking.
Man, I'm totally into it. Go
Well,
check
that
'em out.
brings us to our Sparty Party pick of the week. What we have is Michigan State is hosting Nebraska. I will be there, by the way. I'm very
Yeah.
excited. This is going to be my first Lansing Sparty game. I
It's awesome.
think I went to a Michigan State game once. I don't remember for sure. Yeah. But
Did you see that catch?
No, I
He
didn't.
just barehanded it in foul territory. It was awesome.
Who was it?
Right fielder.
Sanchez?
I don't know. S something.
Saw this over with SAS, so
Yeah.
I figured.
It's on the Marlins. Nobody knows.
Anyways, the Sparty Party pick of the week is brought to you by Big Lake Brewing and their New England IPA with Mandarina, Bavaria, and Amarillo hops at 7.7% alcohol by volume and 53 IBUs. Sparty Party. As we get closer and closer to the game, Michigan State, it's looking good. A Sparty Party and Hazen Blue is their way to go right here. This is going to be a good year for both schools. This is going to be a good year for Big Lake. Sparty Party pick of the week. We got Sparty. They are -5 hosting Nebraska, who showed pretty well against Oklahoma. Micah's taking MSU. Kyle's taking MSU. Ryan, -5. Are you taking MSU?
I'm taking MSU. They just look so good right now. They're so balanced. We've gone through, the weapons they have, the difference makers they have, offense, defense, wide receiver, running back, quarterback. Again, they're solid. I expect them to make a statement this week. All eyes are going to be on them. This is a big game for them. I'm taking Sparty.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I mean, MSU, it's not necessarily about MSU. Obviously, what we've talked about earlier on the episode, MSU's looking great. Nebraska played way above their heads against Oklahoma. They are drained. This could be absolutely embarrassing for a team like Nebraska against MSU. MSU's ready to pounce. MSU's ready to say, you looked good against a good team. We're going to show that we're better than that other team. You know what I'm saying?
I'll also say that Oklahoma has not looked good against any team so far.
I agree with that.
So Nebraska's going to have all this confidence because they just played against this team that is supposed to be elite, but they're not clicking on all cylinders. And then they're going to go against Michigan State, who is firing on all cylinders, and they're not going to know what to do.
So the Hazen Blue pick of the week is the Crushable New England IPA, obviously from Big Lake Brewing. It is featuring Citra and Mosaic hops and brewed with real blueberries. 5.5% alcohol by volume, 20 IBUs. I've noticed that the Hazen Blue has less alcohol. I don't know if there's a reason for that. Think there's a reason
That can't be right?
they should have evened it out. I feel like they're giving Michigan fans a little.
I love the contrast of those two beers, too.
The beers are unbelievable.
They're so good.
So good.
They couldn't have picked better beers for this rivalry.
It is awesome, and I hope both of them going undefeated, and we're sitting there being like, "Look at us! We got Big Lake Brewing and the Hazen Blue, and the Sparty Party! Like, let's get this going." Anyways, we got Michigan. They are hosting Rutgers, which some people say it's a big game, some people might not. But anyways, the spread came out at -19. That is a lot of points in a Big Ten game. Micah took Rutgers. Kyle took Michigan.
Wow.
I'm glad you're next, Ryan, because I don't know where I'm going yet.
I do. I'm going Michigan.
-19?
-19. I think I really just think this game is going to get away from Rutgers. Michigan is going to assert their dominance. They're going to run all over them with a couple of big passing plays, and this game's going to get out of control.
I am going to roll with you and Kyle on this. Not necessarily because of it's just Michigan has a good thing going, and I don't think they're going to blow it on a team like Rutgers. I think they're well coached. I think. Look, I don't want to get into the Harbaugh argument. I think he's put the right guys around this team to kind of like similar to Mel Tucker and be like, "Hey, I'm going to put trust in you guys." Not Tucker. Gaddis aside, there's obviously questions of what the offense is going to be. You're not going to need it.
Or who's even playing, calling the plays right now.
You need to go in and establish yourself. Yeah, people can look at this game as a trap game. People could look at this game as a stepping stone. Throw that out the window. If you are the Michigan that we think you are, you go out there and you dominate this game. And whether it's a cheap what was the spread? 19 points? Or an easy 19 points, you go out and you cover this spread. That's where I'm at. I think Michigan covers it. We'll see. It's not as easy as it sounds. Way more points than I thought that it should have been. But I'm going to take Michigan. And for all Michigan fans, they should be terrified because I am, 4-14 in my picks?
So they're probably going to cover by 18 or something. You're going to
Yeah.
lose?
Probably. But anyways, those are the picks of the week. But before we move on to our beer grades, we mentioned Big Lake Brewing. It is looking to get some of the biggest Michigan and Michigan State fans on the cans of their official beers of college football season, Sparty Party and Haze and Blue. All you have to do is get decked out in your maize and blue or green and white, snap a pic, and submit your wildest fan photo through their contest platform. It's on their Instagram, it's on their website, it's on their Facebook. All that gets is actually, you could even scroll down into our Facebook page and it'll be on there. The link will. One winner for Sparty Party and one winner for Haze and Blue will be selected by popular vote. So share your submission with everyone you know to increase your chances of winning. They have on their I don't know why I even write this stuff down when I already
on their Instagram and Facebook.
Thank you, Ryan.
Got it.
We were not ready for that, so you did a great job.
Pretty cool.
It is time
Cute.
to grade our Michigan beers for this episode, but before we do, I want to once again remind everyone of our partner, Siciliano's Market. They are simply the best beer store in West Michigan, located on Lake Michigan Drive, right between Grand Valley State University's main campus in downtown Grand Rapids. Wherever you live in West Michigan, it is worth the short drive for what they have to offer. Whether you know what you want or you need some help from their expert staff, Siciliano's Market is the best place for that. They not only have a massive and up-to-date inventory of the best craft beers from across our great nation, they're individually priced so you can mix and match to build your own six-pack. Along with their great selection of craft beer, they have specialty wines, spirits, ciders, coffee, tea, tobacco, and cigars. They also have the largest selection of homebrew and winemaking supplies in West Michigan. We love that Siciliano's Market is part of the State of My Sports family and is who we visit to help us choose our Michigan beers for each and every episode. So please check them out and let them know that we sent you. So before we get into our grade from our Arvon beer, we did have a listener chime in, and they said they were drinking from some place called Big Lake Brewing. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Who's that?
A Haze and Blue. Huh. I should really look into that one. Sounds really, really good. And Carrie, she gave it an 8.1 grade. So
Nice.
That's a good grade.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
a great beer. So good. I love it. But
Perfect for
what
fall.
do we drink? What are we drinking today, Ryan?
We are drinking one of the most unique beers, if you can even call it a beer, but one of the most unique beers there really is. Chocolate Dip is what it's called, from Arvon Brewing Company. Again, 5.0%. The only ingredients in this thing, it is with, it's a sour made with raspberries, chocolate, and lactose. That's it. And if you look at the color, like, look at that. It is so
tastes like there's so much more in that.
thick.
It
Right?
is. I had to chew it, half of it.
I mean,
It's
but
so
but
good,
not in a
though.
bad way.
No, I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
at
in the
all.
best way possible. Like, look, guys, we know we talk about Arvon quite a bit. If you have not tried out Arvon Brewing Company and their sours that they have, and we're not even going to bring up their amazing IPAs.
Their IPAs are unbelievable.
They're so good.
They've won awards for their IPAs.
In fact, I just brought a bunch of IPAs fishing, and guys, they just loved it. They were raving about it the whole time.
That's awesome.
And they were just like, you cannot get better than this, just like local Grand Rapids IPAs. But their sours are so unique, and you're not going to get this kind of beer anywhere else. So I highly recommend it. Can I just give this thing a grade at this point?
Yeah. I'm ready when you are.
This is one of the hardest things to grade because I love it.
For the record, I wrote my score down. So
Oh, you did?
yeah,
8.6.
that's a nice score.
That's high. I know it's high, and I'm not grading this as a beer. I'm grading this as
Just something to drink.
yeah. I'm grading this as like a hard smoothie. Like, if you're gonna order a hard smoothie and you get this, you're gonna be so satisfied with it. And I'm not saying it's going to be an IPA or a blonde ale or anything like that. Like, it's not that.
No.
It is flavor forward is what they preach, and that's what this is. It is all flavor and unique. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, I actually went with an 8.4. I don't disagree with anything you said. I think you nailed it. With the flavor forward, and I didn't even know what fruit it was at first sips. You said it was raspberry, right? So
Raspberry and
and chocolate. Who would have thought raspberry and chocolate went that good together, especially in a drink? and they've done it. Like everybody thinks, oh yeah, chocolate dipped strawberries, right? That's kind of the thing. Has anybody ever done like a chocolate dipped raspberry?
Raspberries?
Because
anybody?
that tastes really good. That might be what's the word, like endorphin? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like inappropriate type talking.
Oh, like aphrodisiac.
Yes, because isn't that what chocolate dipped strawberries are?
Oh, I don't
supposed
know.
to be?
I thought that was like weird fish, like oysters and stuff like that. Aphrodisiac.
Oh, what is what sensual or like what's the word that? Yeah, is that the right word?
I don't know where you're going with that.
No, but like you know how like you're supposed to
Yeah.
be like chocolate dip. They're supposed to be like romantic, like chocolate dip strawberries.
Yeah, you
right?
could say that's romantic because that's like a gift you'd give. Like aphrodisiac is like it actually, like chemically, it kind of like turns you on.
Oh,
kinda.
really?
Yeah, like it can change the mood.
Okay, I
Very
just
quickly.
figured strawberries and chocolate was that, but I guess it's different.
I think it's different. Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, for the people that like the chocolate dip strawberries and are all on board for that, like try it with raspberries because those go well together. Where am I going?
I don't know.
This is where Ryan's like, just cut
It's
it, dude.
Afro something.
just
not
cut it off.
aphrodisiac.
Sam, just cut your losses, man.
Afro
Just get
sensual.
over it.
Afro sensual.
And this is what happens when you drink on Monday Night Football
Yeah.
and try to record a podcast. Oh,
8.4 though. That's not bad. Average.
8.5. I can do
8.5.
that. I can do that math.
You got it.
I can do that math. But anyways, that was episode 123. That was fun. I'm really glad we did it tonight. We got it over with, which is fun. We got the raw emotions of the Lions, all that good stuff. But
Losing.
thank you for recording with me.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you guys for watching, listening, all that good stuff. Talk to you next week.
You've been listening
Peace
to
out.
State of My Sports. From the Red Wings to the Lions, to the Tigers to the Pistons, to Michigan and Michigan State, and everything in between, we're talking about it. And don't forget the beer. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. In the meantime, hook up with us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch at State of My Sports with an MI. We'll see you next time.